My name is Randal Boiteau, and I'm the head owner and head instructor of Socius Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a self-defense martial art focusing on controlling and resisting opponents until you can subdue them with a submission. The main difference is that we really focus on ground techniques. So before the pandemic, a typical class here, we'd have anywhere from 15 to 20 members on the mats. We would teach our technique, and then we'd all train with each other, so we're always mixing and matching. We'd have smaller folks training with bigger folks, younger with older, ensuring that we can test our skills with different people of different sizes and skill. So there's a lot of intermingling between members in our previous classes. We've been following what's been happening around North America, and when Ontario shut down before us, so we were planning ahead before Manitoba had to give us the full shutdown. The initial thoughts were, how do we maintain paying the bills as a new business and figuring out what we can do if we could not be in the building. So during the shutdown, it was very stressful and hectic. As soon as we shut down the physical location, we moved online. That involved new programs, understanding what we can teach people through the online program versus being physical here and person-to-person contact. So it was very busy trying to come up with these new programs to give value back to our members, to give them something to figure out how can we teach them online. So thankfully for me, I have another income, another job full-time beyond just the martial arts. And that probably saved myself not taking the income from this gym, as it's a brand new gym. We were just starting to get growing. We were only open for 3 months. So we had to really focus on minimizing our costs so that we can figure out how to pay the bills in the meantime, as still try to grow to meet those budgets. So the pandemic really hurt us. We just opened in December, so we were open 3 months. With the pandemic, we were closed almost 3 months. It really hurt us. We had a lot of momentum going into March. Our student base was growing, and all of a sudden, 3 months later, we were told we had to shut down. So it was very hard in that sense of growing the business to become profitable. It really affected us in that way, and we had to figure out what we can do to try to keep the momentum during the closures and try to think of what the future might bring. So since reopening, we do have to restrict our capacity here. We've implemented a very different class format where we're limiting partners to just one person per class. We only have up to 5 pairs per class, with each pair having a large section of the mat to themselves. But it prevents us from being able to train with all our students every class. We're a little more hands-off everybody, having to coach from a further distance, which really saddens me that I can't train with my students as much as I could before. But it's the only way we have right now to have some form of training as a very close combat martial art by keeping safe, minimizing the contact and potential spread in the academy. Because Jiu-Jitsu does not have a PSO, we aren't mandated by the government for specific requirements. During the closures, we had come up with a response plan that we brought to the government to see if they could review what we had planned at different stages, but they weren't able to review that for us. So we're doing our best, assessing the risk, the numbers on our own, and implementing our own restrictions. As far as I know, most other sports that have a PSO are still restricted to just solo drills, completely hands-off social distancing at this time. But I foresee very soon that we'll be able to do some inter-team training. My main advice to entrepreneurs this time is just be ready to pivot, understanding that things in Manitoba are good now, but they might become worse as we've seen in other states and other provinces. We have to be ready for it.